Okay, metals, they react with water to produce metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Metal hydroxide को हमने एक और नाम होता है, see, metal hydroxide are also known as alkalis. Let me show you. For example, if we add sodium metal into water, it reacts with water to produce metal hydroxide, which is sodium hydroxide. This is a metal hydroxide. और साथ में there's another product which is hydrogen gas. अच्छा, metal hydroxide are also known as alkalis. For now, you just remember that metal hydroxides are also known as alkalis. Hydroxide ion, polyatomic ion है, वो हमने पहले भी इसके बारे में पढ़ा हुआ है एलिमेंट मिक्सचर एंड कंपाउंड्स में. फॉर्मूला इज OH-1. For example, if we add potassium into water, it will produce potassium hydroxide. Its formula would be KOH and hydrogen gas. अच्छा, अब मेटल जो है ना, दे रिएक्ट विद एसिड्स बट नॉट ऑल द मेटल. अच्छा, पहले वाटर की बात कर लेते हैं. सारे मेटल रिएक्ट विद वाटर बट नॉट ऑल द मेटल रिएक्ट विद वाटर. वी कैन आल्सो से कि अगर फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे पास पोटेशियम मेटल है और उसको हमने अगर वाटर में डाला, इट विल प्रोड्यूस पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड एंड हाइड्रोजन गैस. दिस इज अ वेरी वायलेंट रिएक्शन. वायलेंट रिएक्शन कह सकते हैं इसको, या दिस इज अ एक्सप्लोसिव रिएक्शन. मतलब अगर if you have a piece of sodium metal or potassium metal, if you throw this piece of metal into water, तो it will react like an explosion. एक explosion होता है ना, जैसे बॉम्ब फटता है, वैसा एक रिएक्शन होगा. और रीजन क्या है उसका? बिकॉज दीज मेटल आर वेरी रिएक्टिव. जो रिएक्टिविटी ऑर्डर में ये टॉप वाले मेटल जो है, दे आर वेरी रिएक्टिव. दे विगरसली और एक्सप्लोसिवली रिएक्ट विद वाटर टू प्रोड्यूस मेटल हाइड्रोक्साइड एंड हाइड्रोजन गैस. इसका कहीं कहीं वायलेंट रिएक्शन भी लिखा हुआ होता है जी.
Bombs are also made out of the same material. They use chemical reactions to explode.
Yes, if you add any metal, not just any metal, if you add any group 1 metal like sodium, potassium, francium, cesium, because as they are very reactive metals, so they react very vigorously or violently with water. We say that this reaction happens explosively. जैसे बम फट जाता है. Got it?
Oh yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. अच्छा, अब देखो, some metals, they are very reactive, so they react with cold water. अच्छा, cold water in chemistry is water at room temperature, not freezing water. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने बर्फ डाल के ठंडा किया है. तो always remember, whenever you see cold water in chemistry, by cold water it means water at room temperature, normal water, water at room temperature. उसको हम cold water कहते हैं. When we add any metal into cold waters, potassium metal, sodium metal, calcium metal, so they react explosively with water to produce metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Potassium metal react with water to produce potassium hydroxide. Sodium metal react with water to produce sodium hydroxide. Calcium metal also react with water to produce calcium hydroxide. As calcium is from group 2, its charge is 2 positive, and a hydroxide ion is OH-1. The formula would be CaOH2. कैल्शियम जो है उसकी रिएक्टिविटी एज कंपेयर टू पोटेशियम एंड सोडियम कम है, तो it also reacts with water, but it reacts readily with water. It's a fast reaction, but not as explosive as potassium and sodium. However, other metals down the series like magnesium, magnesium also reacts with water, but not with cold water. तो अगर मैं रूम टेम्परेचर पे वाटर है उसमें मैग्नीशियम डालूं तो मैग्नीशियम won't react with it. So in order for magnesium to react with water, we have to heat the water. और heat करके उसको we have to turn it into steam. ठीक है, then magnesium will react with steam to produce magnesium oxide and hydrogen gas. अब difference समझना है जरा कि what's happening between group 1 metal and why different reaction, different product is being formed with group 2 metal. देखो, potassium, sodium, potassium They are reacting with water to produce sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Calcium is also a group 2 metal, but calcium when reacts with water, it produces calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. But magnesium is also a group 2 metal, but it is a less reactive metal. अब वो metal अगर less reactive है तो it does not react with cold water. उसके लिए हमें ना water को heat करके steam बनाना पड़ेगा, water in the gaseous form. And magnesium when react with steam, it does not produces magnesium hydroxide, it only produces magnesium oxide. और उसका रीजन क्या होता है? बिकॉज देखो मैग्नीशियम ऑक्साइड इज इनसॉल्युबल इन वाटर. दिस इज इनसॉल्युबल इन वाटर. असल में होता है क्या है? व्हेन सोडियम एंड पोटेशियम एंड कैल्शियम आर रिएक्टिंग विद वाटर, तो इनमें वो पहले बनाते तो सोडियम ऑक्साइड ही है. व्हेन सोडियम ऑक्साइड रिएक्ट विद वाटर, इट प्रोड्यूसेस सोडियम ऑक्साइड. बट सोडियम ऑक्साइड इज अ सॉल्युबल मेटल ऑक्साइड. So what happens? It dissolves into water to produce sodium hydroxide. However, magnesium when react with steam, it also produces magnesium oxide, but magnesium oxide is water insoluble, so it does not dissolve into water to produce magnesium hydroxide. This reaction stops at magnesium oxide. For sodium oxide, this reaction continues to form sodium hydroxide. Got it? तो ये आपको याद रखनी पड़ेगी बात. मतलब इसके पीछे कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है, लॉजिक क्या है, वो तो हम नहीं पढ़ेंगे वो लेवल में, बट we just have to remember that sodium, potassium and calcium when they react with water, they produce metal hydroxide, whereas magnesium and the other metals down the series, when they react with steam, they only produces metal oxide. So magnesium produces metal oxide and hydrogen gas. Similarly, zinc also react with steam. Zinc do not react with cold water. For zinc to react with water, we have to heat the water to form steam. Then zinc react with steam to produce zinc oxide and hydrogen gas. Similarly, iron also react with steam to produce iron oxide and hydrogen gas. Lead also react with water or steam to produce lead oxide and hydrogen gas. But as we go down the series, the reactivity of metal decreases, so their reaction is less vigorous, or we can say it's very slow reaction. अच्छा, what about aluminium? Aluminium जो है वो steam के साथ भी react नहीं कर रहा. No reaction due to oxide layer. एल्यूमिनियम के रिएक्ट ना करने की वजह, it's not its reactivity, because if zinc metal is reacting with steam, zinc is less reactive than aluminium, but still zinc is reacting with steam. So why is aluminium not reacting with steam, though aluminium is more reactive than zinc? उसके react ना करने की वजह is not its reactivity, it's something else. और वो क्या है वो हम डिस्कस करते हैं. तो मैग्नीशियम react with steam to produce magnesium oxide and hydrogen gas. Aluminium does not react with steam. However, zinc, which is less reactive than aluminium, it does react with steam to produce zinc oxide and hydrogen gas. Why aluminium is not reacting? Because देखो कोई भी metal होता है ना हमारे पास, whenever we have any metal और वो air में रखा हुआ होता है, तो metal always forms oxide layer on its surface. For example, this is aluminium metal. इसके सरफेस पे जो एल्यूमिनियम एटम्स होंगे, दे आर एक्सपोज टू द एयर. एयर तो इनके सराउंडिंग में है ना, दे आर एक्सपोज टू द एयर एंड एयर हैज ऑक्सीजन इन इट. सो एल्यूमिनियम सरफेस एटम्स ऑफ एल्यूमिनियम, दे come in contact with oxygen from the air to produce aluminium oxide. जो मैंने ब्लू कलर की बनाई है ना, this is the aluminium oxide layer formed on the surface of the aluminium metal. In fact, every metal forms this oxide layer. For example, if we have zinc metal will have a zinc oxide layer on its surface. Similarly, if we have iron metal will have iron oxide layer on its surface. There is iron oxide Fe2O3. Zinc metal has zinc oxide layer on its surface, ZnO. And aluminium metal has aluminium oxide layer on its surface, Al2O3. अब देखो होता क्या है, ये aluminium oxide is non-porous in nature, whereas other metal oxide layer like zinc oxide is porous, iron oxide is porous. अब porous से क्या मतलब है? It has small pores in these layers which allow further oxygen from the air to pass further inside the zinc metal. जो अंदर के zinc atoms हैं, they also comes in contact with the oxygen from the air and they all further oxidize. But aluminium oxide layer is non-porous. It does not allow any further oxygen or water to pass through it. मतलब जिंक ऑक्साइड में जब वाटर में डालोगे ना जिंक मेटल को, तो उसके सरफेस पे जो जिंक ऑक्साइड लेयर है, इट विल नॉट स्टॉप वाटर टू कम इन कांटेक्ट विद द जिंक एटम्स beneath the layer. Similarly, in iron, if you place iron metal into the water, so iron metal has an iron oxide layer on its surface, which is a porous layer. It means when we add iron metal into water, the water molecule will penetrate this layer and will come in contact with the iron atoms beneath the layer. However, in aluminium oxide layer is non-porous in nature. It does not allow water to pass through it. Non-porous का मतलब उसमें pores नहीं है, no holes or no pores. So it does not allow any water molecule to pass through it. Hence, aluminium के जो अंदर के atoms है ना, beneath the layer, they won't come in contact with the water. If they are not coming in contact with the water, so obviously they will not react with water. ठीक है, तो aluminium is not reacting with steam, or reason being because there is an aluminium oxide layer on the surface of aluminium metal which is non-porous. It does not allow water to pass through it. समझ आई ये बात? Guys,
Yes, sir.
किसी को कंफ्यूजन है इसमें तो पूछ लो.
Sir,
जी.
the one you wrote in red for zinc, I think. The ZN.
Zinc.
Yeah.
Zn.
Yeah, zinc. Sorry, zinc. What did you write underneath it?
Where?
Underneath is zinc. The diagram you. Yes, this one.
Yeah. This is zinc
Yeah,
oxide. The formula for zinc oxide, ZnO.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
The formula for zinc oxide is aluminium oxide है Al2O3. This is ZnO, zinc oxide. So if they're gonna ask you in the question why aluminium metal does not react with steam, क्या लिखोगे आप लोग? Because aluminium metal has a non-porous aluminium oxide layer on its surface, which
Sir.
G.
What about the oxygen in the steam? Doesn't that react with the aluminium?
Oxygen is in steam is water, na? If you are talking about oxygen from air that is coming with the steam, it won't even allow oxygen to pass through it. It is completely non-porous. Neither oxygen gas nor water will pass through it.
So how then you're saying that aluminium can react with oxygen. So
Aluminium does react with oxygen, but for aluminium metal to react with oxygen or with water, what you can do is take a piece of aluminium metal, and how do we make aluminium? As per its reactivity, it should be reacting with steam or oxygen from air. If you want aluminium metal to react with water or oxygen, first of all, you have to remove this oxide layer. How can you remove this oxide layer? Using a sandpaper. By rubbing it with
okay.
sandpaper, you can remove this oxide layer, and then you can add aluminium metal into water, and then it will react. Not water, but steam. Or there is another method, you can just crush this aluminium metal into powdered form. So then it will react with steam.
Okay, get it.
Or use powdered aluminium. Okay. चलें आगे.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but all the metals beneath hydrogen in the reactivity series like copper, silver, gold, platinum, they do not react with steam. They do not react with the steam, so obviously they cannot react with cold water. जो steam से नहीं react हो रहा तो वो cold water से क्या react होगा? और reason for them not reacting with steam is due to their reactivity, because they are very less reactive. That's why they do not react with steam. Noted. Aluminium is not reacting not due to its reactivity, but due to the oxide layer. But copper, silver, gold, platinum, they do not react with steam or water. Reason कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा less reactive है. ठीक है, ये याद रखना है आप.
Yes, sir.
Next, reactions of metals with dilute acids. अब dilute acids में we can have hydrochloric acid or any other acid like dilute sulfuric acid or dilute nitric acid. What does mean by dilute acid? When we have more quantity of solvent, more quantity of water, less quantity of acid. मतलब पानी ज्यादा हो एसिड में तो उसको हम डाइल्यूट कहते हैं. पानी कम होगा तो these are known as concentrated acid. So metals, they also react with dilute acid, but not all these metals form the reactivity series. Some metal react, some they do not react. और वही है जो पानी के साथ रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं वो एसिड के साथ भी रिएक्ट करेंगे. लाइक कॉपर, सिल्वर, गोल्ड, प्लेटिनियम, they do not react with acids. Like copper, silver, gold, platinum, there is no reaction with dilute acid. और उसका reason क्या है? Reason being because they are very less reactive metal. However, potassium, it react with acids to produce salt and hydrogen gas. अब metals का acid के साथ reaction क्या होता है? So whenever any metal react with acids, they produce salt and water. Like potassium metal, when it react with hydrochloric acid, it will produce salt, potassium chloride, and sorry, it's not water, it's hydrogen gas. Correct, this is hydrogen gas. So whenever any metal react with acid, it produce salt and hydrogen gas. Salt, what is salt? Salt क्या होता है? Salt is an ionic compound formed when a cation, which is a positively charged ion, reacts with an anion, which is a negatively charged ion. So salt बनाने के लिए जो potassium है, potassium is a cation, and anion आएगा acid से जो कि Cl negative ion होगा. पोटेशियम इज ग्रुप 1 मेटल, उस पे चार्ज होगा +1, एंड क्लोराइड इज फ्रॉम ग्रुप 7, उस पे चार्ज होता है -1. द फॉर्मूला ऑफ दिस सॉल्ट वुड बी पोटेशियम क्लोराइड. सही है ये बात?
Yes, sir.
Let's say if we have sodium metal reacting with HCl, then sodium also react with acid to produce sodium chloride and hydrogen gas. Similarly, calcium will also react with acid to produce calcium chloride and hydrogen gas. The formula for calcium chloride is CaCl2. Because calcium is from group 2, it has a charge of 2 positive. Chloride has a charge of -1. So its formula would be CaCl2. Calcium का जो 2 है वो chloride के नीचे आ जाएगा. So the formula is CaCl2. फॉर्मूला मेकिंग हमने पढ़ी थी ना सेकंड चैप्टर में. चले आगे.
Yes, sir.
But not all the metal react with acids. Sodium, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, they react. Aluminium does not react with acid, not because it is less reactive. As per its reactivity order, it should be reacting with acid. But reason for it not reacting with acid is due to its oxide layer. Very same reason. Again, if you want aluminium metal to react with acid, you have to remove the oxide layer or take the aluminium in the powdered form. So if you take the aluminium metal in the powdered form, it will react with hydrochloric acid. So can you tell me the salt it will produce when it will react with HCl? It will produce salt and hydrogen gas. So salt जो बनेगा, what will be the formula of that? Aluminium chloride salt बनेगा. Aluminium is from group 3. तो उस पे चार्ज क्या होता है? 3 positive. Chloride is from group 7. It has a charge of -1 because acid में Cl है और metal is aluminium. The formula would be aluminium का 3 will come with chloride. Chloride का 1 will come with aluminium. The formula would be AlCl3.
Sir, where does the -1 go?
Why is chloride -1?
No, because I know why it's -1, but I don't know. I don't understand how you did the crossing out thing
Okay.
of like the powers.
Okay, I got it. Because we studied that in our second chapter, how to make a formula for an ionic compound. We know aluminium is from group 3, so it has a charge of +3. The chloride is from chlorine, which is from group 7. It has a charge of -1. So how do we make the formula when we combine these two ions? The charge aluminium पे है, the charge on the aluminium goes into the subscript of chlorine. Chlorine के नीचे आ जाएगा 3. The charge on the chloride ion will come with aluminium. So with aluminium you will write 1, and with chlorine you will write 3. So in formula we do not write 1. If nothing is written, it means by default it is 1. So we do not have to write 1 actually. So we won't write 1 with aluminium because if nothing is written, it means by default it is 1. With chlorine it's 3, so we will write 3. So the formula is AlCl3. If you haven't studied formula making with us, so I'll send you the recording for it. Got it? आगे बढ़े?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you guys have to remember this, which metals from this activity series will react with acids and which won't. So from potassium to lead, every metal will react with acid. However, aluminium is not reacting due to its oxide layer. But if they say aluminium is in powdered form, or if they themselves give the equation कि वो react कर रहा है और product बना हुआ है, तो समझ जाना कि aluminium को उन्होंने oxide layer हटा के react करवाया. However, you have to remember copper. Usually they give question about copper. कॉपर और सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड का रिएक्शन दे दिया, कॉपर और HCl का रिएक्शन दे दिया. You have to remember that कि copper, silver, gold, platinum, they do not react with dilute acids. Why? Because they are very less reactive metals. और यही reason है, for very same reason these metals are expensive because they do not react. देखो metals जो होते हैं जैसे iron metal है ना, in our daily life we are using iron metal mostly in the form of alloys. Iron जो है वो air में when it comes with in contact with oxygen from the air and moisture from the air, iron metal in elemental form when it reacts with oxygen and moisture, it basically forms iron 2 oxide, Fe2O3. And some water molecules are also attached to it. Let's say 7 water molecules are attached to it here with iron oxide. तो ये जो ऑक्साइड बेसिकली बन रहा है, ये मेटल एलिमेंटल फॉर्म में जो है ना, मेटल की जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक प्रॉपर्टीज है, वो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक प्रॉपर्टीज दैट मेटल्स आर मैलेबल एंड डक्टाइल, दे कंडक्ट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, तो वो प्रॉपर्टीज मेटल की एलिमेंटल फॉर्म में है. व्हेन वी हैव एन आयरन एटम, हाउएवर व्हेन आयरन फॉर्म एन आयनिक कंपाउंड विद ऑक्सीजन लाइक आयरन ऑक्साइड, तो इसमें तो आयरन जो है वो आयन बन गया ना, 3 पॉजिटिव आयन, तो इसकी भी प्रॉपर्टीज मेटालिक प्रॉपर्टीज नहीं रह जाती है, फिर ये आयनिक कंपाउंड बन जाता है. और ना तो इट कैन कंडक्ट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इन सॉलिड स्टेट, इट कैन नॉट कंडक्ट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, नॉर इट इज मैलेबल एंड डक्टाइल. तो जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, कोई मेटल है उसको रस्टिंग हो गई, जंग लग गया, कोरोजन हो गया. फॉर्मेशन ऑफ ऑक्साइड फ्रॉम अ मेटल इज बेसिकली अ प्रोसेस ऑफ कोरोजन, एंड कोरोजन ऑफ आयरन इज स्पेसिफिकली नोन एज रस्टिंग, जंग लगना. अब you guys must have seen corroded metal, जैसे आयरन है, लाइक जो दरवाजे डोर्स होते हैं घरों के, जो स्पेशली जो गाड़ी के दरवाजे होते हैं ओल्ड कार्स में, आपको नीचे जो है ना वो रेड कलर का जो पाउडर्ड फॉर्म में क्या रेड कलर का आयरन मेटल जो है वो जंग लगा हुआ दिख रहा होता है, दैट्स रस्ट. एंड उसमें फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? आयरन 2 ऑक्साइड. समझ आई बात?
Yes, sir.
कोई क्वेश्चन किसी का? किसी को कुछ सवाल ही नहीं आ रहा जहन में? जैनब, उजैर, सुनैना, सहर, रयान, मूसा, मिशेल, अली,
Sir, I did
इमरान,
ask
शेफ.
questions.
हाँ, you do. No one, nothing, कुछ नहीं पूछना, आगे बढ़े. टेस्ट होना चाहिए आप लोगों का, क्या लगता है? टेस्ट दोगे कमिंग वीक?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
आई थिंक कमिंग वीक चैप्टर आई थिंक मोल्स का टेस्ट लेना चाहिए हमें, मोल्स का.
That's really hard, sir.
कमिंग वीक अगर स्कूल के एग्जाम्स नहीं हो रहे हैं तो आई थिंक कमिंग वीक हमें ना एक मोल्स का टेस्ट कंडक्ट करना चाहिए. मुझे ऐसा फील नहीं हो रहा कि आप लोग बाद में खुद खोल के कुछ पढ़ते हो या नहीं पढ़ते हो, इस तरह से कंफर्म किया जाए.
Sir, my exams also, my exams just finished, like,
We're done with exams now. Okay. So I think coming week, let give me a test on Tuesday, coming Tuesday, in class timings for chapter moles. Moles and stoichiometry. But prepare well. अच्छे से पढ़ के. I'm giving you time. You have like 7 days.
sir, could you,
You have to beat it. What?
if you, for moles, can you send us the notes on the group so I could just,
Notes as in you need worksheets or written
No,
handouts?
like just written handouts, yeah, basically. And
Okay, but
worksheets, yeah.
moles के there are no content for moles. Basically, just few formulas and just a very little concept जो आप book से पढ़ के content text से पढ़ के moles you cannot just grasp the concept of moles. However, you can watch the recorded lectures now. I have given you the recorded lectures already. I'll give you again. अगर नहीं है आपके पास, so better would be you watch those lectures and do the worksheets.
Yeah, okay. Will you send the worksheets, or have you sent it before?
I'll send. I already sent it on the group. आप check करना. If you couldn't find the link, let me know. I'll send you the.
Okay, should
Okay.
I? Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Seher, both P1 and P2. Zainab, when is your midterm starting? I
In
think
2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I think you'll get prepared for midterm as well. Na? Is Moles coming in your midterm?
No, it's not.
It's not coming.
No.
Okay. So which chapter is coming? Which chapters are coming?
So, states of matter and atomic structure, ionic bonding and all that.
Bonding, states of matter, and atomic
Yeah.
structure. Okay. Okay. How about I give you the test for these 3 chapters, just for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'll send the test for one combined test for atomic structure and chemical bonding and states of matter. Others can give that test as well or moles test as well. But
Okay,
for
thank you.
बाकी आप लोग पहले मोल्स का टेस्ट दे देना, तो उसके बाद नेक्स्ट वीक आप एटॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर बॉन्डिंग का टेस्ट दे देना. ज़ैनब आप जो है पहले उसका दे देना, मोल्स का आप यू कैन गिव इट आफ्टर मिड टर्म. ओके.
Okay.
चलो आगे बढ़े.
Yes, sir.
So you guys studied redox reaction with me. All of you studied redox reaction with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. चलो डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शन ऑफ मेटल्स बेसिकली क्या होते हैं? In a displacement reaction, metals higher in reactivity series can displace other metals from their compound which are lower in reactivity series. For example, if we have a compound of copper, right, copper 2 sulfate, CuSO4, and if we add zinc metal to it, जो solution नीचे लिखा हुआ है ना, blue colored solution is copper 2 sulfate. Copper 2 sulfate solution is of blue color. ये भी याद रखना, this color is very important. And we have added a zinc metallic strip into this copper 2 sulfate. तो zinc जो है वो अपनी elemental form में, atomic form में. देखो ये जो reaction हो रहा है ना, इसमें we have copper in ionic form, copper 2 sulfate. देखो copper 2 sulfate में, copper 2 sulfate is a basically a soluble salt. और इसके अंदर कॉपर जो होंगे वो 2 पॉजिटिव आयंस होते हैं, सल्फेट आर SO4 2 नेगेटिव आयंस. When we add zinc into copper 2 sulfate solution, तो zinc जो है वो अकेला है, elemental form में, atom है. So the oxidation state on zinc would be 0. However, oxidation state on copper in copper 2 sulfate would be +2 because copper is in the form of ion in copper 2 sulfate. क्योंकि copper 2 sulfate बना कब होगा? जब copper 2 पॉजिटिव होगा और सल्फेट SO4 2 नेगेटिव होगा, तभी तो ये फॉर्मूला CuSO4 बन रहा है. और जिंक जो है वो इट्स in elemental form क्योंकि अकेला है ना, तो its charge oxidation state would be 0. But is zinc more reactive than copper? Because if you see the reactivity order, so zinc is higher in the reactivity series than copper. We have this reactivity series. Copper, silver, gold, platinum. So zinc is higher in the reactivity series than copper. It means zinc is more reactive and copper is less reactive. So zinc being a more reactive metal, it will oxidize. आपको एक बात और याद रखनी है, more reactive metal oxidizes. By oxidizes, I mean more reactive metal loses electrons more easily. When two metals come face to face each other, तो जो more reactive metal होगा, it will oxidize, and the less reactive metal have to get reduced. Less reactive metal reduces, it gains electron. देखो metals are known for their reactivity by losing electrons. Metals, they want to lose electron. Potassium, it loses electron. Sodium, it loses electron. Calcium, it loses electron. Every metal, when they react, they loses electron. So, and metal that loses electron more quickly are more reactive metal. Like potassium, it will lose electron more quickly as compared to the other metals in the reactivity series. That's why potassium is the most active metal of this reactivity series. Zinc loses electron more quickly as compared to copper. That's why zinc is a more reactive metal. Now, when we have a solution of copper to sulfate, तो zinc, उसको हमने zinc की एक स्ट्रिप डाली है. Zinc is in elemental form. अब जब zinc अंदर जाता है ना कॉपर टू सल्फेट सोल्यूशन में, तो zinc के जो है ना वो एटम्स हैं. अब zinc is a more reactive metal. तो zinc जो है वो कॉपर को देखता है and it says कि I am the more reactive metal. I should get oxidized first. Why copper has lost electron और वो क्यों oxidized हुआ है? तो कि zinc कहता है कि I am the more reactive metal. तो zinc की ईगो पे बात आ जाती है बेसिकली. zinc कहता है कि मैं अपने इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करूंगा, but it cannot just lose its electron anywhere. Any ion or some other metal has to gain its electron. तो जिंक अपने इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करेगा और कॉपर को वो इलेक्ट्रॉन जबरदस्ती गेन करने पड़ेंगे, बिकॉज जिंक इज अ मोर रिएक्टिव मेटल and zinc will get oxidized, and copper is a less reactive metal and copper has to reduce. So zinc will lose its electron. Zinc जो है वो it will lose its electron to form zinc 2 positive ion. Zinc gets oxidized. ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज कर रहा है ऐसे नहीं कर देगा, बस किसी ना किसी को इसके इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन करने पड़ेंगे. और वो कौन है गेन करने वाला? वो कॉपर है, जो कॉपर 2 पॉजिटिव आयन बना के बैठा हुआ था. वो ऑलरेडी अपने इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करके बैठा हुआ था, बट नाउ इट हैज टू गेन दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन क्योंकि जिंक ने लूज करना है. कॉपर विल गेन इलेक्ट्रॉन, कॉपर आयंस विल गेट रिड्यूस्ड. व्हाट बेसिकली हैपनिंग इज जिंक atom, they are losing electron to form zinc 2 positive ion, and these zinc 2 positive ion then will get attracted to sulfate ion. तो zinc जो है वो copper को हटा के उसकी जगह पे लग जाएगा, and copper 2 positive ion will get reduced to form copper in elemental form. So basically what zinc has done, zinc has replaced copper, or we can say zinc has displaced copper from its compound, from the compound of copper. So this reaction is known as displacement reaction. आई बात समझ? तो मोर रिएक्टिव मेटल displaces the less reactive metal from its compound. So zinc being a more reactive metal, it will get oxidized and it will replace copper और उसकी जगह पे लग गया आके. And copper being a less reactive metal, it has to gain those electron which has been lost by zinc, and copper ion will get reduced to form copper in elemental form like this. Got it? कुछ पूछना है?
No, sir.
ओके, ये लिख लिया है, आगे बढ़ाऊं? स्क्रीन चेंज करूं?
एक सेकंड सर, I'm writing.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So if I was to react potassium with zinc. So potassium would lose electron and then zinc would gain electron. Is this the case?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have a solution compound of zinc, let's say zinc nitrate. So let's just do two things. We are adding potassium metal, and in another beaker, we are also adding copper metal. So potassium is more reactive than zinc. So potassium will displace zinc and will get attached to the nitrate, and zinc will get reduced. However, can same thing happen with copper? When copper is added to zinc nitrate solution, copper is a less reactive metal. It cannot displace zinc. So no reaction will happen. Got it?
Yes, sir.
बढ़े आगे.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा देखो ऑब्जर्वेशन क्या है इस रिएक्शन की. We had copper to sulfate solution in a beaker. It was of blue color. And why copper to sulfate solution is of blue color? Due to the presence of these copper 2 positive ions. When we added a zinc strip into this copper 2 sulfate solution, what happens? Zinc atoms, they get oxidized and comes into the solution, and copper 2 positive ions, they get reduced and they are converted into elemental form. अच्छा कॉपर जो elemental form में है ना, it is जो कॉपर बनता है कॉपर मेटल, basically it is of pink color. तो हम यहाँ पे देखो ना, पिंक सॉलिड, इसको हम कहते हैं पिंक और ब्राउन. इट लुक्स लाइक पिंक और ब्राउन कलर. सब समटाइम्स इन क्वेश्चन वो पिंक लिख देता है, समटाइम्स ब्राउन लिख देता है, तो दोनों याद रखना. पिंक और ब्राउन solid is deposited, whereas copper 2 ions are being reduced from the solution. मतलब copper 2 positive ion reduced हो रहा है तो खत्म हो रहा है ना, copper elemental form में आ रहा है. तो वो जो solution का कलर था blue color, वो था due to the presence of copper 2 positive ion. जब copper 2 positive ion ही खत्म हो जाएंगे तो color of the solution will fade away. Fade away means it will change from blue to colorless. So blue color of solution changes to colorless, and zinc rod gradually dissolves because zinc being oxidized, zinc elemental form से ionic form में आ रहा है. तो zinc atom जो है वो strip से निकल के solution के अंदर आ रहा है. तो zinc rod जो है वो dissolve हो जाएगी, and pink deposit of copper are seen. ठीक है भाई, यहाँ तक बात.
Yes, sir.
Okay. अच्छा अगर if we do this experiment the other way around, let's say if we have a zinc instead of copper to sulfate solution, let's say we have a zinc sulfate solution and we add a copper strip into it, क्या copper भी zinc को displace कर सकता है? Yes
No,
or no?
sir.
No. Why? Because copper is less reactive than zinc. And how do we know that copper is less reactive than zinc? Because copper is lower in the reactivity series than zinc. So copper, अगर if we have zinc sulfate solution, and in this zinc sulfate solution we have added copper metal, so no reaction will happen. The reason क्या है कि copper is less reactive than zinc.
Sir, wouldn't copper, if copper was less reactive, then zinc would have given its electrons to copper. So why wasn't it not reacting?
Zinc is already in the form of 2 positive ions. In zinc sulfate, zinc जो है उसका already 2 positive ion बना हुआ है ना. Zinc already
Yes,
is in
sir.
the form of 2 positive ions. So it has already has given its electron before. इसके पास इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करने के लिए अब है ही नहीं, ठीक है?
Yes, yes, I understand.
It can get reduced, but it cannot get further oxidized. Copper cannot just reduce it. Reason, because copper is less reactive. It cannot just reduce zinc. However, zinc can reduce copper.
I understand now.
Okay. आगे बढ़ें. There are other examples of displacement reaction. For example, if we add magnesium to copper chloride, so will this reaction take place? Is magnesium more reactive than copper? Yes, because magnesium is higher in the reactivity series than copper. Magnesium will displace copper और उसकी जगह पे आके लग जाएगा, तो it will produce MgCl2 and copper. Copper will get reduced. Copper ionic form से 2 positive ion से it will gain electron to form copper in elemental form. The copper will get reduced, whereas magnesium will get oxidized. Magnesium will form Mg2 positive ion. It will get oxidized. Similarly, if we add magnesium metal to potassium chloride, will this reaction take place? क्या magnesium potassium को displace कर सकता है?
Sir, what was the question?
This third equation here, magnesium is added to potassium chloride solution. This reaction is not happening. Can you tell me the reason why?
Sir, because potassium is more reactive than magnesium, so it will not so magnesium will not displace potassium.
Yes, of course. ठीक है, समझ आ गई ना बात?
Yes, sir.
चलो, आज की क्लास पे यहीं तक रखेंगे. From next class we will do some questions. Thursday और Tuesday को we'll take your test. सही है?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Could you send the recordings? I don't have the recordings.
Recording for which topic?
Moles.
Holes? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you just give me a message? DM me, I'll send you the lecture.
Okay.
आप लोगों को मैंने Google Classroom का एक लिंक भी तो भेजा था. I'll send you the link for the Google Classroom. Have you checked out the Google Classroom? उसमें किस तरह से अप्रोच करना है? Let me show you.